Live. Oh no, we had it on horizontal. Okay, let's look at our comments. So, need to go. Okay, so Sebastian, are you ready to go? Look at the Black Dahlia house. Sebastian, you ready? Look at, say hello. There's Sebastian. Look at the long, beautiful red dog. Well, here we are, setting out on our trek. I'm going to do a repeat on Monday night. Tomorrow, we've got a late start today due to the press of business. So I'm going to do maybe a more in-depth tomorrow. The late start was unavoidable. I was doing a stream with Sir Crepitus, Poe on the Go, Clearwater Chad, shout out to them. We're talking about Scientology connected judge Rudolph Diaz. So he was connected to Scientology in the 1995 article definitively. Freedom Magazine, one of the commenters, put that up on the blog. So it's very interesting. But tonight we're walking Los Feliz. We look at the Black Dahlia house. There's a doctor there who committed a gruesome murder, and there's some mystery surrounding it. Kind of the house is very unusual, as we'll see. In Los Feliz here too, the Manson family committed one of its murders. The grocer Leo LaBianca and his wife were murdered in, just maybe 10 minutes from here. I'll take you there one night. That's another one of the things that have gone on in Los Feliz over the years. So there's a couple haunted places and some murder scenes. A Sasquatch poster. I don't know what's going on, but it bears investigation. There's our usual dropout. Okay, so if you're a suspicious person, an SP, suspicious person, that's actually better than a suppressive person. A suspicious person. Okay, there you go. So we have some more. Let's look at the roses here. Turn on the light. Beautiful night blooming everything. This house is, we're headed eastbound. Some more roses, succulents there, or cacti. Look at a famous house where, he's dead. He's the prime suspect, gruesome killing. And so people from all over, when they come to LA, they look at the Black Dahlia house. Hello, Julie. Glad to see you here. Hey, Sir Crepitus. Glad you're here. Good live stream today with Poe and Chad. Thank you. Terry Anderson. Hello, Warrior Queen. And I got a later start. Like I said, I might do a more extended version tomorrow. But we did like 2 hours on our live tonight. So if we keep dropping off, it's partly being on this right next to Griffith Park on this side of Franklin, where cell signal can drop off. Look at these giant palm trees going into the night. This house, they've gutted and remodeled it. You can't really see it. It's all Spanish style with these magnificent palms going way up into the sky. And so they're renovating that house, ready to sell it. They didn't tear it down, which is good because it's one of the classics. A lot of the beautiful old homes here are being torn down. Play for mansions, big modern, and they're not McMansions. These are really luxurious places. They're not cookie cutter tract houses. So anyway, they're remodeling this one. But what's like they're going to do a seance. See the pink windows? Look at those. Look at the pink windows. Wow. What's going on? Don't worry, we'll pop right back on. Look at those pink windows. I'm going to turn off the light. So you go by this house. It's very, very pink. What must be going on in there? That kind of got a weird atmospheric vibe. Busy for a Sunday night. Look at the flower tree. These are quite a beautiful tree. Oh, look at those purple flowers. Yeah, it's really something to see. This is the house with the pink windows and the palm trees that climb way up into the night. Quite way up into the night. That's the new gate they're putting on. So it's all gated property around here. And Franklin Avenue, Los Feliz and Sarah Franklin, and on the other side, Hollywood begins. So it's sort of the dividing line. I'm going to turn on the light because it is so dark. It's hard to describe. It looks like it gets very dark here. Oh, you got blocked. I don't know why you would get blocked. I wasn't streaming on my channel, so I wasn't. I don't know why you would have gotten blocked, but let's get the lights on. Man, it is so. This little patch of the street is so pitch black. These are some of the vehicles in which people live on the street. So you have some people living in these. And this is an RV that's been here way too long. People live in there. Look at all these palm fronds from recent winds. Big palm fronds. Let's see if that's Scientology literature. No, that's not. Just some mail. Sometimes, it's not uncommon to see Scientology literature dumped on the street, especially for the when they were doing body routing for the free personality test. But the live streamers have shut down the body routers. I haven't seen body routers out on Vermont and Western for quite some time. So the body routers are staying inside. Now there's a huge, look at all those palm trees there. This street we're going up to has a lot of streets around here. 100 line. So the periodic drop-offs just attributed to Mark-Cab interference. That's someone on a two-stroke motorbike. This is a beautiful old classic Spanish style apartment, red tile roof, and the Los Feliz Mission is Spanish style. That's down on Hillhurst. We're going to walk there tonight. It's a nice building, but it's was locked up during the pandemic, and they were still getting PPP money for payroll loans, although it was locked and boarded up. Room where Chick Corea used to live when he was here in LA, and he had Matt Hatter ran into bankruptcy, financial problems, and Miscavige had to buy Matt Hatter to Chick Corea, Scientology's jazz legend, from going through a bankruptcy, which would have been good, you know, to have someone of his stature as a globally famous musician bankrupt. But yeah, look at all these palm trees, magnificent. Oh yeah, look at that. So there's a beautiful view. Again, it smells really, it's perfumed. The flowers at night, more palm trees going into the sky. Amazing. So let's just take one more look down there. So this is sort of the neighborhood I walk every night with Sebastian. And we have some of these. Plenty of succulents, cacti, other plants. Everything grows here, like I said. And there's some, look at that. Big palm tree over there. The night sky, because it's so much artificial light, the night sky has a blue glow to it many nights like this. And we drove up in the mountains. One night we'll go up to Mount Wilson, where all the transmitters are. It's and you can see all of Southern California. Clear day, you can see out to Catalina Island. It's really phenomenal. Catalina Island, LA has Catalina Island, and then San Nicolas Island, a couple islands, and then you go up north, there's the Channel Island. Catalina Island's magnificent. It's only 28 miles. It's worth a day trip if you're in LA for a week or two. It's worthwhile to take the, they have very fast boats that go over to Catalina. That's a good day trip. There's a small landing strip there for airplanes. There's buffalo on the island that were brought there for making movies in the 20s, and they were abandoned and they bred, so there are buffalo up there. And you can see them occasionally. They're hard to spot because there's only one mountain road that goes from the harbor up to the top of Catalina Island, which used to be called Wrigley Island. It was owned by Augustine Island. So I would like to own an island, and let my father's not Howard Hughes. Rumors to the contrary. Now this house, before, wow, loud motorcycles. This place looks like the White House. It's just a big, sprawling mansion with a fabulous portico. Look at that portico. And it's quite something. And then up the hill, the other side of the street. And some night, if you're local in LA, we can organize a walking tour for an hour and show you some spots just in the local neighborhood. And it's nice to get away from Scientology base and just see nature here in the city. So much nature. And so I have, let's see. Oh, there's a burned out. Yeah, the street lights burned out here. There's some simple architecture over there. Some of the older apartments. Okay. Now, the big reveal. We're at. Get ready. This is the Black Dahlia. Look at that. What a fabulous entrance. That is the Black Dahlia house. What do you think of it? What do you think of it? Let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. No, I better get my focus back on it. So you begin there and it climbs. That's the top. I want to make the screen smaller. There we go. So it's a Neo-Mayan revival style. That's where the doctor. There are said to be secret passages in the house, and the Black Dahlia house. Oh, hold on, Sebastian. It's just a beautiful house. Palms go way above it. I don't know if you can see the palms. Yeah, my light's on, but it's got palms up into the sky. Oh, look, we're going to get a shot of an airliner coming out on the left side here shortly. Yeah, there we go. There's an airliner back there. But just beautiful flowers planted. Quite stunning gardens. You can rent the house. It's not occupied. It's it's a venue. They film movies. They have private parties. So oftentimes you'll see film trucks, film crews, or you'll see long lines of limousines for the private parties. Now now see, Scientology doesn't have anything like that kind of beauty. I shouldn't say that because then they'll wind up buying the place. Just like they bought Larry Hagman's house in Ojai, California, which is unbelievably spectacular, and turned it into a celebrity narconon. More. So we're going to go down to Edgemont. Take that in. Let me see some comments. It is beautiful. It is. Just look at this. Sebastian, can you say hi? What do you think? Look at how long the dog is from tip to snout. What do you think, Sebastian? Come here. What do you think? Say hi. No? You're going to say hi? Everyone likes you. Look at that beautiful snout. Okay. He has, come here, Sebastian. Stop uno momento. Okay, let's get a look at you. These plants really interest me. Look at that. Orange yellow. What are they? What is the name of that plant? It looks like some desert or the tropics. So what is that? Too pixelated. Yeah, I think the no, I don't. This is my. Yeah, it is sort of pixelated, but you get the idea. There's the bottle brush tree. And question, pollen. Yes, we had record rainfall, as you know, and so the pollen is can be quite aggressive some days. The pollen index was 90 today. 90. So There's a jetliner, if you can see it, inbound to LAX. They fly in east, and then when they get over downtown LA, they make their turn, a U-turn west. Oh, maybe we'll see one tonight. More lush gardens. What do you call those flowers that are turned down? I can't, the name's on the tip of my tongue. You can see those flowers that turn down. I don't know, they're daybell, I forget. And then quite gorgeous. Look at that. No, that's really well done. One thing you have to be careful for when you're walking is these, someone's scolding someone. No, 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 no. No, 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 she's saying. So these things are ever-present nuisance. You have to watch. Sometimes people just drop these scooters, and they just drop them anywhere and everywhere, so you want to watch them. This is kind of a neat effect for decoration. If you're thinking of buying something nice, they have these flickering, multicolored, color-changing LEDs. There's a really nice lighting solution to decorate your walkway. Let me see, what's the comment? Oh yeah, bottle brush, yeah. Oh, wattle is the worst, okay. The whole, oh, they come out ready for the whole migration, wow. Bottle brush come from South Africa. I didn't know that. No, I'm holding it, and he's kind of pulling me along. When I'd like to do sightseeing, take a leisurely walk, he's sort of sniffing and moving around, darting around. So he can be a demanding young man. He's saying, "Dad, come on, let's get with it. Stop with the sightseeing." But I like sightseeing. I'm showing you my neighborhood. You could be more polite. Now we're going to go, let's see, I think Edgemont. And yeah, let's go Edgemont. Oh, a little bit of an aggressive walk through here because the sidewalks are so broken, and LA doesn't fix broken sidewalks. Okay, sorry we have some dropouts, but I wanted to show you yonder in the distance is that's Griffith Park Observatory. Look at that. Albert Einstein visited there. We're gonna get closer to Griffith Park Observatory. You can't see the dome right now. We're gonna get closer to it tonight. So, but that's Griffith Park. And every time I think of it, there's a photo of Albert Einstein visiting, I don't know, 1931 or something. So it's very, talk about a historical person. Alley, the late Kirstie Alley, had a home in Los Feliz, on the other side of Los Feliz Boulevard. I think it sold, I don't remember it sold before she died or after she passed, but it was like a 12.5 million it sold for. And the home, she had lemurs, and it had a lemur enclosure. So I'm sure whoever bought it got rid of the lemur enclosure because unless you plan to have lemurs, why have it's like a big monkey cage, you would call it. So she had she collected animals, exotic animals, I guess. She had a fondness for them. But she had a lemur enclosure, which the house is actually quite stunning, but I would get rid of the lemur enclosure. Now see how blue the sky is? It's just a characteristic where we can't see the Milky Way in the city. There's always trade-offs. I'd rather go far out into the desert, like Joshua Tree. The Milky Way is stunning. All the intensity of stars is Joshua Tree's really caught on as a destination. I went there quite a bit over the years. Boy Scouts, went out with my dad, went out rock climbing. before it was a destination, when it was just a natural park. It's rock climbing at Joshua Tree. You wouldn't believe that. The boulders are bigger than, they can go 4 or 5 stories or taller. Huge, huge rocks. But that's some good climbing. It's not technical climbing, but you have to be careful. You don't really need ropes. It's not that kind of climbing. Because you don't need pitons or anything, but it's a great climbing out there at Joshua Tree. Okay. Some classic old Los Feliz apartments. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, the jacarandas. Yeah, tourists moving in. Well, Joshua Tree has, there was like a fad there of building mini houses for Airbnb. And I don't know, I think that trend went bust, according to a YouTuber I watched. Because if you go to Joshua Tree, you want a view. And why would you live in a mini house? I mean, if you have the money, you want to build a decent sized house. Because when you go to the desert, you want the view, big long picture windows, like if you Googled Dean Martin's house in Palm Springs, that's a beautiful old, mid 50s, beautiful place. Or any of those Bob Hope, a lot of the presidents lived out there. So I don't know, I don't like the little tiny homes in Joshua Tree, the mini home fad. Okay, come on, here we go. Trying to get my dog to move along. This house, oh, it's a Borzoi. A Russian wolfhound.
Oh my God, that's like the biggest dog I think I've ever seen.
It is a big dog. What kind of dog do you have?
Oh, mine's a little Shih Tzu Terrier.
Oh, he's a beauty.
Dog would kill my dog.
No, this dog's very gentle.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah,
I was just wondering, I've never seen that kind of dog before.
yeah, they're somewhat rare. But now you've seen one. Now that's another thing on you can check off. This house is such a classic style. It looks like almost that house, if you see pictures of the D-Day landing, it looks like one of those French chateaus. So it's got such beautiful, clean lines. I mean, what's not to like about that? Look at the architectural lines on that house. Beautiful. And then there's an old stone mansion on the corner. It's dark tonight, but it's a, oh, it's too bad I can't. I might go over to look at it. It's a church building now, but it's an old stone mansion. This is the Buddhist center. So it says in the Buddhist center, sorry, we're closed. So the Buddhist center is closed. I can't get no meditation. No, actually, if the Buddhist center is closed, you can enjoy the emptiness. Having some fun with Buddhism. Anyway, what is the sound of the Buddhist center closed? You could make up some fun koans. Peace is possible. And that's a public talk in Pasadena with Buddhist monk Gen Kelsang Rigpa. So there you go. Schedule it if you want a Buddhist talk. That's what is the Russian Orthodox? I can't read it. I'm gonna have to get a pair of binoculars. Some of the nice, expensive apartments. So we have to wait because there's so much traffic tonight. we have to wait for the cars to pass before we cross. So I always assume people don't see one horrible thing. They're driving. As a pedestrian, it's like New York. You have to be very careful and assume people are not looking. And so you want to be careful when you're walking. Oh, that's a nice effect on those trees. What are you saying? Oh, where is this? We're in Los Feliz, and we're on Franklin Avenue, eastbound. If we turned up here at Edgemont, we could walk down to Pack Base, but I'm not going to. I've had too much Scientology today. Too much. This is a beautiful old apartment building. We'll just cut through it so I can show you like a beautiful turn of the century. Oh no, there's another dog. I don't want to go. It's an old something coming up from the street. I don't know what that is. Oops, sorry. Banged him on the nose accidentally. So we're in Los Feliz, California, and Edgemont at Franklin Avenue. You can Google map it. Everyone in the comments, put where you're watching from. I'd like to see where you're watching from. Yeah, that's kind of some sink pipe or something. I don't know. When you get in a neighborhood that has new construction and old, you get, of course, a mixture of high-tech stuff and really old 100-year-old stuff. So there's kind of an assortment of architectural motifs and even, the utilities. There's some new kind of, there used to be an air raid siren here, a tower with a Cold War era air raid siren that they dismantled. But there's another one nearby. I don't think we're going to go far enough to go look at the air raid siren. So now we're at Edgemont. And beautiful flowers. This is a classic old apartment building, just lined with palms that come up. So you can see the courtyard. I wonder if we can take off the light a minute. This is a beautiful place. Let me see if it does better without the light. Architecturally, it needs the light on, but architecturally, this old apartment building is one of my favorites. It was built when you didn't have to do high density and you could have a courtyard, and it's just gorgeous. When you have I've lived in apartments when I was younger, and when you have a courtyard, and this has, I don't know if you can see the depth, but it really is a beautiful place. Quite beautiful. And it's just surrounded by palm trees. So there's a kind of a 60s house that they brought up. They've really done a lot of good, nice texturing on that. But there's a big dog there, so we stay away from that side. I think he's indoors now. You look at that old red Mercedes. What's that, from the 80s? I think that's an old original 80s Mercedes. Yeah, that looks, yeah, I remember that. Look how small it is. It's like wow, that's an old, it's got the brown. I remember when those were really the trend in the 80s. Everybody wanted one of those. Or the two-door. What do we have here? We have a 2.3. It's a 190E. Beautiful old car. Guy's taking care of it, whoever owns it. There. This house has a nice turret on it. A nice tower. What are you doing, Sebastian? Oh, he's just exploring. So, San Diego. Okay, we're West Coast. Yeah, I was gonna get. It could be late '70s on that Mercedes. Doctor, my doctor's wife's car. I remember that was. They made them better in the '80s. Excuse me, have you seen my boyfriend? No, is your boyfriend missing? Uh, oh yeah, those old angular cars. Yeah, they were the Matchbox cars. Yeah, the one thing that hey, look, there's a Cadillac, and I think that's an older, maybe '95 North Star. It looks like. So there's a lot of great old cars around here. People buy and restore. That's one thing I really like. You see every car in the world. I mean, there was a Model T. My neighbor, just on the other street, Oxford, owns a Model T, and every once in a while he'll have it out for a drive down the street. It still runs, just a classically restored Model T. But you see everything from the most cutting edge, high performance supercars to really older project cars. There's a few junk cars that are known locally, and there's one down here, I think, that's really, it looks like a prop car from the movies, but it's just someone can't keep up the maintenance. But that car sounds like it needs a tune-up. That's a nice place. You can see the chandelier. Now we're headed back toward the observatory, which is off in the distance. I don't have it enlarged, but it's up on the hill. So now we're headed north toward Los Feliz Boulevard on Edgemont. What are you going to do, Sebastian? Oh, he has to stop and inspect something. Come on. Oh, this boy. There's the LAPD helicopter. It must be shift change. Let's just wait for, take a look at LAPD. There we go. I did a blog post on my blog. I forget, it's like $9,000 an hour to operate an LAPD helicopter. And LAPD has the largest police fleet of helicopters in the world, followed by the LA Sheriff's Department. So LAPD has a lot of helicopters, and there's a dollar number. And okay, Dig Vic says, when I was about 17 years old, me and a few friends of mine were taking album photos in Minnesota, and ended up being dragged by a group of Scientologists and got a few fun words about my experience. That sounds like a story. That would, if you have these stories, it's so fun to just do a YouTube channel. It's fun to have a YouTube channel, even if you don't maintain it. If you just do videos when you feel like it, which is kind of like, I couldn't do it every day. So I kind of do videos when I have time where I feel like it. And there's a gorgeous flower. So it's fun to just create a YouTube channel. It is like a scrapbook. You can just do a video. You don't even have to go on camera. You can just post photos and talk. But it's really something to have a channel to share these stories on. And some of the older YouTube videos, my wife Karen, her channel is Surviving Scientology on YouTube. It's over 10 years old, and it has some just really valuable old archival videos, because one thing I wanted to build when she started the channel, she wanted to build as well, was older stuff from the 90s, 80s that had been, transferred from video, from television, and put on the internet. There's no copyrights on this stuff. So there's some valuable old interviews from TV. There's early YouTube videos. Of course, Mark Bunker, Wise Beard Man, he did very historic videos that are now historic because a lot of the people Mark interviewed are no longer with us. But I really am glad Mark Bunker did his videos, especially his famous Jason Begay series, where Jason says, "Show me a motherfucking clear." And Scientology was unable to produce one. They didn't seem to have one at hand to show a clear. Wow, that smells great. I wonder what this tree is. So it's on the ground. It's beautiful ground cover. Sometimes we see coyotes walking the streets. They come down from the park, and this is one of the streets, and they go out way past Santa Monica Boulevard and continue long into the night. There's a scene in Tom Cruise's Collateral where they were filming in Hollywood, maybe further out, and a coyote just happened into the frame, and they kept it in. And it's a piece of real life because coyotes do wander these streets at night. But Tom Cruise kept it in. That one scene in the alley, where he gets his briefcase. The guy steals his briefcase and handcuffs Jamie Foxx to the steering wheel. And then Tom comes and does that, shoots the bad guys. That's considered by military bloggers, as these guys police who do shooting, as one of the best shooting scenes in film, because it's so ultra precise. And Tom Cruise does put a lot of work into his stunts, but that's I got on that topic because they'd left a coyote walking across the street, which was purely random, and I got into Collateral. Bougainvillea. Wow. Okay, now we're coming into some on the other side of the street. Look at more Bougainvillea. But that is really a rich effusion of color. A rich effusion of color. It's the fun use of language. What? I bet it was, the coyote was probably taller than Tom Cruise. And the coyote, they didn't have to outfit it with elevator shoes. You could do that with a coyote, like if it was a Tom Cruise coyote, you would, I guess you could build little elevator shoes for a coyote to make it taller. If you had like a David Miscavige coyote and you just needed it to loom, because David Miscavige, he's so small, he can't loom. He can't loom large. He has to have elevator shoes and the ecclesiastical pompadour to give him some appearance of height. And that's not, I'm just saying that's just, not his problem. He was born that way. Well, actually in Scientology, he would have pulled in being born in that small body. Because in Scientology, look at that house. This house is fabulous. Oh, I'm going to come here during the day. Oh, I just can't even do it justice. It has the arches. This is how, let's see if we get across the street. That old staircase, the winding staircase. Look at that staircase. See, that's the kind of thing you get in the old construction. In the old houses are these beautiful, where they really put a lot of money and design work into a home. Have a beautiful winding staircase on your Spanish style home. We're not going to get a good look. They put up a wall. They put up a new gate for privacy. I don't blame them because it is a magnificent house. Look at that. This is one of the most magnificent houses around. And let's say maybe get the low down quickly. Where are you at in Hollywood? The address. It's on Edgemont, and I wouldn't give out addresses, but I will tell you, please keep off the grass. Please keep off the grass. Thank you. You gotta imagine Jim Carrey saying that. Please keep off the grass. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I will thank you to please keep off the grass. I would have phrased it differently on the sign. Why? Look around you. Why are you going to keep off the grass? That makes no sense. It's a public walkway, but this is the easement. You know, technically you could camp here, I guess. But they want you off the grass. Whatever. It seems like a futile gesture when you have. This is a very well-traveled area for night walks and day walks because it's so beautiful here, and asking people to keep off the grass. Well, you know, there you go. You kids, keep off the grass. Okay, so oh, we're at Ambrose in Edgemont. Another, these are the, Walt Disney's first studio was at his house, and we could walk there. Maybe we'll go there one night. Walt Disney's first home. Los Feliz was the original Hollywood, and they filmed over in Griffith Park. So Walt Disney's home and studio, his early one, is a couple blocks down. This is as I understand it, this is from World War I, and it was a memorial to a young man who was killed in World War I. So this is an old World War I monument at a private home, and it has an urn, the classic urn with a plant. It's very somber, and so you do see World War I era memorials here. There's a few. If you go up to Forest Lawn, which is quite a beautiful place, you'll see a lot of World War I memorials because it opened in that period. And let's see the comments. Blue building drain the city's water supply. Oh, you mean, do you study Scientology? I study it for its crimes. That's where the water went. Walt Disney already had a Beverly Hills house before his career took off. Yeah, I guess he did. I mean, he, well, an interesting guy. I was watching, and he, a thing on YouTube, and they did a thing on YouTube of famous stars who were heavy smokers, who had the bad nicotine habit. And I'm not knocking it, it's just unhealthy. If you want to smoke, please, I won't stop you. But Walt Disney sometimes could smoke 3 to 4 packs of cigarettes a day. He died of lung cancer, I believe at age 72. I was disappointed. Like, I wanted Walt Disney to live longer, but he smoked. And back then, my dad, both my parents were heavy smokers. And it did affect their lifespan, unfortunately. Go. But I was disappointed. So what this thing was saying was interesting, is Walt Disney's assistants, always had to make sure to keep cigarettes. So there are no pictures of him with cigarettes. There's only very few exist because his assistants always wanted him to have a wholesome image that he did not smoke. And He partnered with the Operation Paperclip German rocket scientist Werner von Braun, who smoked as well, and they would always sterilize the images. L. Ron Hubbard can be seen smoking, but yeah, it was just the thing. Smoking, now it's vaping. We're going to cross Los Feliz Boulevard. We're at Edgemont if you're Google Earthing me. We're at Los Feliz in Edgemont. We're going to the north side because I want to get a view of Griffith Park for you. I'm going to go up to approach. We can walk up to Griffith Park one day. If you come here, you can see the Hollywood sign. That's a bit of a parking hassle. Let's go down. Come, Sebastian. Come, my faithful dog. Let's go. So, Griffith Park is now very close, but it's a dark night up in these streets, so we can't really see. But there's Griffith Park. You can't see the dome. It's not. They don't have it fully lighted tonight. That's a shame. But that's Griffith Park Observatory. So I see that every night on my walk. It's one of the things that are like big trees, big pine trees. Okay, we're going to cross as soon as we can. Okay, let's go cross. We're going to wind up at Griffith Park as we end our walk. It's up ahead. So the poster of the half-human monster creature in Griffith Park had been ripped off the sign from when we saw it last night. So I don't know where it went. And I was hoping to see one on the walk we're doing. Oh, he's very good. There's a classic, and he pulled the leash. There's a classic Spanish style. How'd you like to wake up and have Griffith Park in your backyard? It's really pretty fabulous up there, the homes on Griffith Park. The late Scientologist and acting coach Milton Katselis lived up there. And he was, when Karen married Heber, Milton was Heber's best man. And there's some photos online, you can see them, but that's quite a beautiful place. Elvira, if you remember Elvira, I do. Elvira had a magnificent house up there. I think she may still live up there. But she had this stunning view right next to Griffith Park Observatory. So it's a cover-up. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Where is the monster? I speculated in the abstract last night that perhaps the monster was a failed Dianeticist or a failed OT8 who had a psych break and barged out of the org into the wilds. It could be, who knows? With gated property everywhere, not much view to take in, but we'll enjoy what we can. There's a nice old place across the street. You're walking on the plastic. He's walking on the plastic. I'm gonna go on the plastic. One thing Stefan likes to do, we're coming up next to a wall of brush, and he really likes to. Now there used to be Home Care Queen TV and Vlogs. Home Care Queen TV and Vlogs. Okay. Hello. Yeah, maybe, you know what, Julie, I think you're right. It was the only OT9 that existed. Yeah, it could be the only OT9 and for whom things went wrong. And are you going to go now? See this wall of here. Stefan likes to surf. We're going to go into the brush. He likes to walk along and well, he's not going to do it on this brush. I guess it's too sharp. But he likes to walk along the brush. And look at that beautiful coat. And this one he doesn't seem to be surfing. He usually surfs it and walks right next to it. There he is. See, he's scooting along the brush. It sort of gives him a nice massage. Isn't that right? Yes. So it's very dark tonight. Once you get away from Franklin, it's pitch black up these streets. If I were to, I'm going to turn off the light for a minute. To give you an idea, this is how dark the streets really are. I have my light on during the walk, but it's just pitch black. So street lighting, you get a little bit away from it up toward the observatory. They keep the lights as low as they can at the observatory. And it is very pitch black. And then the hill rises steeply. So we have here, there's a couple trees that are 300 to 400 years old here. They're oaks. These trees are probably about 100 years. Very thick trunks. Come on. Oh, I want to show you the 400-year-old oak, which is across the street from our house. And it's amazing. It's protected under state law, LA County law. And okay, we're coming up on Griffith Park, maybe just a few minutes. We'll walk by it and just do an initial reconnaissance for monsters, or the purported monster. And I think Julie's right, it's probably an OT9 or 10. A horrible experiment went wrong in Dr. Hubbard's laboratory, in which David Miscavige would have been the auditor, experimenting on OT9 and 10. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Well, you know, one of the Feshbach brothers was one of the first, or was it Kurt? Not Kurt. It was one of the Feshbach brothers, Scientologists. He did the superpower rundown. They were the first to get to do it back in the 90s when they were hedge fund traders making tons of money. And he bragged about superpower. And then he died, I believe, of a massive heart attack. I think maybe it was late 40s, early 50s. So that's what superpower did for him. A massive heart attack. Okay. Just watch the streets here. It really is something. Let's go look at more dark roads. We're going to go down a dark road one night. There's a haunted house up this street. And I don't think it's been inhabited for quite some time. But we'll go up there into the pitch black night. And there's the observatory. Okay. OT8s. Having the NOT discussion. Okay. We're going to cross back over. So, we'll show you in the comments. Glad you guys are on a late night walk. Wow. Tell us about Scientology. What would you like to know? Skateboard tech is going to be the new superpower. Oh yeah, skateboard. Aaron Cairo, the skateboard tech. You know, that would make more sense than running around the pole at the top of the flag building, running around that illuminated pole. They should just make it a skateboard park. You would get more young people in. Because as it is, who's going to pay thousands of dollars to run laps around an illuminated pole in the dark? That's got to be a weird hypnotic thing where you run around a lighted pole. L. Ron Hubbard wrote that when you die, you're supposed to go and orbit around a planet or star. So L. Ron Hubbard wrote, again I'll repeat, L. Ron Hubbard wrote in A Secret Device, Karen read it, plenty of people read it, that when you die, you go as a Thetan spirit body and you orbit around a planet or a star. You run around it, you zoom around the planet or star, and this is supposed to orient you somehow. So this is the running program where you run around in circles is supposed to orient you in this life, in this body, in the same way in which orbiting a planet after death. I guess it's a preparation. You can read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which I have many times, and there's nothing about dying and then running around a planet or a star. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is really fascinating. Maybe I'll do a podcast on the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Talk about different after-death traditions, because I like to get into esotericism, metaphysics and such. It is so dark here. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, LRH. I don't think he could run. He probably got in a golf cart and was. I don't see L. Ron Hubbard doing any laps. Given his 4 packs of cigarettes a day, he probably was driven in a golf cart around a pole. It probably made him dizzy. You just don't see him who wants to run in circles? When you're a kid, it's fun. When you get older, it's dreadful. I couldn't see myself running around in circles, especially for no reason, or even paying to do it. So maybe the monster in the park is actually L. Ron Hubbard. Who could be, or it could be Madame Blavatsky. It could be a lot of people could be on the suspect list for the half-human creature sighted in Griffith Park, which we're approaching. Now there's the front gate to Laughlin Park. That's a private gated community. Beautiful place. And it's it's its own municipality. When you live there, back in, I don't know, whenever they incorporated Laughlin Park, it's like a corporation, I understand. And you have to pay for any kind of infrastructure, sewer, electric, sidewalks. The residents are assessed huge fees because they basically ceded in some way from the city. I mean, they're legally in the city and they pay taxes, but they ceded in order to get their private community that's gated. They had to pay for all the infrastructure costs. So the homeowners association fees at Laughlin Park are quite high, especially if anything big goes wrong. But that is such a wealthy community. I don't think they worry about writing a check if something needs fixing, like utility transformers or something. I don't think they worry about it. It's one of those things, it's like owning a private jet. Who was it? One of the YouTubers. Oh, the real estate guy, not Grant Cardone. Ben, the guy who owns the hotels. He said, if you have to think about cost, you can't afford a business jet. Meaning he's got so much money that he just, it just comes out of petty cash. What's his name? Is it Ben Mala? I can't. I like his videos. He smokes. He's brash. He's really funny. And he took a pounding during the pandemic. Patrick Skinner. Okay, thanks. I'm glad you, Patrick. I'm glad you jumped on. I forgot to email you. It was kind of a last minute thing. So if we have some untoward remarks or trolls, that was have a great day. Okay, yeah. So we have some. Thanks for jumping on, Patrick. Okay. Have a great day. Yeah, I think L. Ron Hubbard would make his messengers run for him. Anyway, Patrick, thanks for having my back. I forgot. Please, excuse me, I didn't notify you. We just like jumped on, and I have a schedule to keep because I still have some work to do later. Working late into the night, working and researching late into the night tonight. I wish I hadn't. Okay, what's it say? To grammar, yeah. Well, Scientology, there's a lot of different ways to study it. It depends why you're studying it, what you want to see of it. It's sort of like if you understand the Dianetics model of the reactive mind and engrams and erasing engrams, the OT levels is simply a modification of that, where instead of erasing engrams, you're summoning and banishing body thetans. It's the same formula. So engrams up to the level of clear, and then you have psychic content that you call body thetans, and you telepathically audit them. So engrams into BTs. It's really a simple equation, metaphysically speaking. It's not complex or mind-blowing. It's sort of a self-paced. It goes from Dianetics, Hubbard said, treated of the mind, and Scientology treats of the spirit. He claims to have rediscovered the human spirit, and then he claims to have discovered through the wall of fire the 75 million year old trap for which Xena is responsible. So, I mean, the architecture of it, in esoteric terms, not too sophisticated. You just translate reactive mind into your BT case. So when your reactive mind vanishes and you're no longer mocking it up, Hubbard wrote a policy, and maybe I'll do a video on it, where he said that once you go clear, you're in the danger zone, and you have to be gotten up and onto the OT levels very fast. Well, what he was saying, basically, once you are no longer mocking up your reactive mind, your BTs can kick in. And that might cause you to think you haven't lost your reactive mind, and you go into what he called a think, figure. You could also free will. He said you have to get into your next level of case, which is not the reactive mind, but your BT case, the body things. So it's not complex, meter-based. So as Chuck Beatty calls it, telepathic exorcism of BT. So you get on the cans and you telepathically contact your BT. So the metaphysics are simple, well understood. South Park covered them well. It's not really, you can get lost, like Hubbard's early work, Procedures and Axioms. That sort of lays out his self-referential or his tautological structure, and then he modifies it over the years, and it goes from being quasi-philosophical to becoming all about ethics, slamming in ethics, crushing in ethics, control of people, control of money, control of organizations. So it becomes this very tyrannical. It's always been tyrannical because Hubbard was a tyrant. So studying it, there's plenty of, we have a coyote. We have two coyotes. Look at them. Here, let's get the coyotes. We have two coyotes. There we go. You can see their eyes. My dog, they're hiding from Sebastian. There's one's running away. See, we were being tailed by two coyotes. What are you going to do? Oh, you can see his eyes. He's running off. The coyotes don't like this much bigger dog. So the coyotes ran away. Now we're coming up on Griffith Park, and we'll make a quick excursion into Griffith Park. There's another damn scooter parked at random. Beautiful night with the palm trees. So, procedures and axioms, those tend to be tautological. And then Science of Survival, Hubbard's second book, is really a radical departure from his Dianetics model. That's sort of his, the 1952 Science of Survival, if you want to study it, Scientology critically, that's Hubbard's first deep dive into social engineering. Scientology is social engineering. And by that time he has the E-meter, which he can use as a lie detector, security checking. So when you talk about Scientology, my opinion, as someone who's studied it for a long time, you have to first ask, well, what part of Hubbard's life are you talking about? What period? Because it developed, it evolved over time, it changed. And then you have to look at the David Miscavige era, Golden Age of Tech, phase 1, phase 2, so on. So Scientology is not, you can't treat it as like a stationary, fixed object, because it did evolve. So L. Ron Hubbard in 1950 was very different than 1964 when he wrote KSW. And then he's very different when he releases the OT levels. And then he's very different when he's restructuring the corporation near the end of his life, going away from Church of Scientology of California. Now we're in Griffith Park. We are on the south side of the park. Oh, it's pitch black. You're not supposed to walk in the park at night. You might see the half-human creature or the pink lady. No, actually the park rangers, you're not allowed to walk by ordinance. So there's not much to see because it's just pitch black. So making an initial look, no monsters. Maybe it's deeper into the park. We might have to go into the interior park. It's open from, the park's open from sunup until sundown. You have to exit by sundown. And it's got really great hiking in there. Well, we're coming up. This is where there's the observatory in the Greek Theater, the road. No observatory access after sunset. Use Vermont. So you could get up to the Griffith Park Observatory in the Greek Theater here at Ferndale. Those are the entrances. So when they have concerts at the Greek Theater or events at the observatory, this place is packed. The traffic is just at a standstill. And then when the Greek Theater gets out, you want to be very careful in this crosswalk because people have been drinking at the Greek Theater. And one night, Sebastian and I a car almost hit us. That's why I always stop and wait. This guy swerved out of nowhere. And then we're at Griffith, down here at Western. Los Feliz turns into Western. It does a it does a quick 45-degree turn. A lot of people smash into that wall because they don't know the turn. The road turns at a sharp 45. So a couple times a year you'll hear someone pile up a car, especially a younger person in, a fast car that maybe their mom or dad owns that they don't know how to control. Too much horsepower. And we have people cruising through it. So that was our tour. Just Sebastian and Jeff walking. In the night we have somebody up here. Wait a minute. There's somebody up here in the dark. Wow, I wonder what he's doing. We do have an unidentified person in the park. Or I'm sorry, on this side. Someone doing something. Huh. Let's just see. There's a person doing something. What are they doing? Oh, there looks like they're working on their bicycle. Yeah, it looks like a bicycle, or no, it's a scooter, or they're working on a wheeled vehicle. I don't know what they're working. Yeah, maybe they're bicycle. I don't know what they're doing. Hard to tell. I'm not going to check. So we're back. We're headed back home. Let's just check some comments and say, bid you good night. Who is Xenu? They follow textbooks of controlling people. Yeah, exactly. Good comments. All religions are cults as soon as they drag in their dogma. Let's break down that sentence. I think that might be backwards. All religions are cults. The fundamental basis of a religion or a cult is dogma. So dogma precedes the corporate form or the ecclesiastical form. So you actually, religions and cults are born into a doctrine, a belief, or a dogma. That's the foundational essence. You have a belief system which becomes codified into scriptures, over which an organization presides, and then you have people controlling the organization, and it's basically the basic spirit matter cosmology is exclusive access to God controlled through an ecclesiastical hierarchy, and this access to God is spelled out in scriptures. So I don't really buy the argument. I'm working on a video that looking at cults as along a spectrum or a continuum, and that interests me, and I have a diagram I'm working on, and I want to do that cults in terms of looking at them as a spectrum, because there are very different performance dynamics within, what you want to call a cult. Religion, are a cult and religion interchangeable? Maybe in some cases. Why is a religion not a cult? That's something I would like to get into the terminology, but there's actual structure. I think Stephen Hassan does a great job as Byte model articulating structure of what, because really, if you take something like the Methodist Church, they absolutely have dogma, but it's low demand. They don't make a high demand on their followers. And so something like the Methodists or Christian Scientists, there's some innocuous groups. So these are interesting questions. I'm just kind of looking at the comments. I appreciate them. Watch and listen to the Heaven's Gate stuff. I've studied Heaven's Gate extensively. Their website is archived. I've studied Heaven's Gate extensively. I even mentioned last night, I did a video about the Heaven's Gate cult. I mentioned it, that the Nike shoe they were wearing is a collector's item on eBay. So anyway, that's quite something. Well, I'm going to bid you adieu as we are now headed back, and wish you all a good night. Thank you for all your input and feedback.